Hey everyone, it's Ayush from Astraios here with Atharv Nima and Rishabh, who's our CTO, doing the web browsing for us today. So how are you today, Atharv?
I'm doing good, but the market isn't. So let's cover it.
Yeah. So we had a pretty red day in the market. We opened up pretty high with SPY leading the way here on the 5 minute chart. If you look at the 15 in the previous days, it's been holding at this all-time high here. But intraday market today, it did fall quite a bit. We are on the way back with Nvidia's earnings going on right now. But we'll see what happens tomorrow and the rest of the week. So looking into Nvidia, actually, I wanted to touch on this since post market, it's going crazy. It's at $1,000 already. It's an all-time high for Nvidia. There were some speculations about a stock split, so that's just going to give investors or more retail investors more reason to buy up Nvidia and surge prices up. But what do you think about where this stock is headed?
Yeah, for sure. And I'm pretty sure that the stock split is supposed to happen in the upcoming months in this summer. And it will be a big one. It'll take it down to about $200 if I'm not wrong, but it might be even less than that. Might be a 1 to 10 split, which will pull it down all the way to 100, or a 1 to 20, which will pull it down to $50 now. Looking at the stock right now, we just had earnings come in and they were outrageous with the H100 chips, which were being sold to a bunch of big tech companies such as Meta, Microsoft, and Amazon buying a huge chunk of them. They had sales to be $24.6 billion was the expected sales from Wall Street, and they did beat those. Microsoft and Meta have spent about $4.5 billion each on the H100 chips in 2023 itself, which gives us a massive coverage for how much they're going to be spending in the next few years as well. But that strength also brings in a bigger weakness as a huge chunk of their revenues are derived off of these bigger big tech companies, and they are known to be volatile with where they want to go and what they do. We have seen that in the past, and I believe that that can be a massive risk. It's already being shown that Amazon is backing out of a few orders for their H100 chips, which can be a massive risk for the stock and the company overall for their future earnings.
Yeah, there was an article by Investopedia actually. Can we pull that up really quickly?
As we're pulling up the Investopedia page, I would like to briefly mention the other bigger companies which are ordering the H100 chips too. They include Google, Oracle, Tencent, and Tesla. Except for Tesla, all of them have bought about $50,000. I mean, 50,000 chips, and Tesla's bought about 10 to 15,000, which is still a good amount. But again, it has the risks of such big orders going sideways and them losing a big part of their revenue.
Yeah, like this Investopedia article actually, Amazon apparently changed their plans for those chips that you're talking about. So that's probably gonna add some concern to these large or long-term investors about the future of Nvidia, since Amazon is one of those, if not the biggest player, because it's such a big company. And yeah, like you see here, some investors are concerned about this transition from between the different chips. So we'll see where Nvidia goes in the future. I would still be going long on Nvidia. I'm still in Nvidia in my long-term portfolio. So because Nvidia and AMD, they're not going anywhere, and their stock price is positioned for that split, which is gonna bring in more buyers, and the tech game is always increasing, and Nvidia and AMD are on the forefront of this change. So
I would say it's a solid hold, not a sell, of course, but I would not put a lot more money in right now just because of it reaching all-time highs. It
right.
might it might pull back a little bit where we can buy it at a more discounted rate, not a lot, but a little bit. Especially it hitting 1,000, I bet a lot of people are gonna be taking those gains and putting them elsewhere or reinvesting it at another time.
Yeah. I also heard some speculation with Lululemon. Can you pull up that article? Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently their CPO left suddenly. I know you probably know a lot more about that, but I did see there was a huge drop in Lulu stock, and we can pull that up towards the end of the video if you want to see that. But yeah, there's a huge gap down with Lulu today and yesterday. So yeah, let's go into more detail about that.
Yeah, for sure. So their CPO, she graduated from Maryland and she was great. She worked with them for a few years and she just took another role, another better role, according to her, somewhere else. But she was the creative brains behind Lulu. A lot of designs came through her. A lot of their apparel was designed by her, or really the main reason why Lulu clothing was so popular, a lot of those reasons were because of her. She really had that vision for Lulu, and her leaving is a really big sign for an uncertainty for Lulu in the future, just because it is a fashion wear brand. And if you lose your CPO, who's in charge of the fashion, it is a pretty big hit on the company. They have also had other implementations with their C-suite and just restructuring in general. So, especially a lot of times during this time when the company is going through such restructuring, there's a lot of uncertainty which is built, especially in the markets. So this is pretty regular for us to see, especially in a lot of companies in this clothing and retail region. So it's nothing to worry about. Honestly, I would say that Lulu would be on a buy right now, just because it is a little discounted at 7% right now, and it will most likely be going back up from here. Um, and we can do a technical analysis on it at the end for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Right now, I would honestly be shorting Lulu just because it is coming down. We are in that uncertain period. So make some money as it's coming down. Obviously, if you are an intraday trader, as I am, respect your stops. But I think for right now, at least till the end of the week, until their earnings come out, I think it's on Thursday or Friday. I think it's solid to short it for the meantime. I see in here. Nikki is going to become the new Chief Brand and Product Activation Officer. So we'll see how she does. But yeah, in the meantime, we can move on to our last segment here with Hims launching their new obesity drug for 85% less than big pharma companies. So, what do you think are like the ethical implementation or implications of that? Because Big Pharma's huge. Obviously, it's named Big Pharma, right? Like every single drug is by these guys. Hims and Hers is a pretty it's a notable brand. It's coming up. There's a lot of advertisements I see from them, but they're obviously nowhere near as big as Big Pharma. So, what do you think the implications of this discount will be, and what are some ethical reasons for either buying into Hims and Hers or going or staying with Big Pharma?
Well, yeah, keeping the ethics aside for now, just looking at the weight loss prescriptions in US, we can see that Hims and Hers is a big name out there for big pharma, but we also got Eli Lilly, of course, and then we got like Ozempic, which has been in the news all the time. Eli Lilly came out with trizepatide, which has been growing, and Hims and Hers has coming out with such a cheaper version um is just a game changer, because most of the big pharma has jumped on the train for weight loss prescription drugs, especially with the increase in obesity rates which we're seeing, and also have um we're anticipating more and more people to be obese just due to our food being really terrible right now in the United States. So going on the ethical implications of such drugs, I believe that the capitalist in these big pharma companies has always been there, especially in the start. When they start up, they are always trying to go for the low-hanging fruits. And this is another low-hanging fruit for them. A lot of people want to be fit, they want to be thin, and they just want to really reach out to that audience and sell to them. And I mean, even though it's ethically terrible that they're praying for people to be fatter in the future, it's capitally right. Like we are seeing those trends, we are seeing people be fatter we are seeing people eat less healthier, and that can be a big revenue booster for them.
Yeah. I think it's nice that Hims and Hers is reaching out to that audience and providing this solution. But like you said, on the other side of things, like it's probably just going to promote eating whatever you want, doing whatever you want because you have this medication out there and it's going for cheaper now, right? So a lot of people don't really care. They don't have, or they don't have time is their
Right.
excuse, right? Like I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to prepare my foods. And now there's a injection available, $200 per month, I think, and you get that and you get your fat reduced, right? So
Right.
I think it's fine. It's a cool revolution. Hims and Hers is coming out there and saying, hey, you don't need to be paying as much for these drugs. But at the same time, they could be promoting weight gain. And like you said, America is so like all of our foods are so processed. It's like it's ridiculous. Like most people don't even know what they're eating. They don't care
No.
to look at the nutrition label. They don't really care as long as it tastes good. So
Yeah. It's
yeah,
insane how many ingredients are in our food now. It's
yeah,
insane. Like you look at your bread, which is supposed to be 4 ingredients, and you see like 30 on the back, and you're like, what are the other 25 doing back here? Like I need four on here, and there's like 30 on there.
yeah.
Anyway, I wonder how this is also gonna kind of like go into the fast food industry, like trickle down into the fast food industry and their revenues. Because if me myself, if I'm like out there and I'm taking this drug and I'm not worried about being fat and my like I know that I'm not gonna get fat from anything, then I would just eat like really terrible foods because I know that I can just burn it off due to the drug.
Yeah.
So then I wonder how eating out and these fast food joints are gonna really benefit off of this drug in the long term.
I wonder what would be the health implications from taking this drug too. Like,
Right.
sure, you're not gonna physically, you're not gonna appear fat, but I'm sure like the cholesterol is still gonna get into your capillaries. They're still gonna block your arteries, right? Like they can't fix that. Yeah, that's interesting. We'll see what happens with this new drug that they're creating. Maybe Big Pharma will jump on the same boat and say, hey, we're gonna offer these for cheaper too, to try to compete with Hims and Hers. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our last section. And this is like our long-term section, and it will basically go over a specific industry or stock which we believe in the long term will be beneficial to invest in or just something to look into. And today we are looking into desalination companies. Now, desalination companies basically turn seawater into fresh, usable, drinkable water. And me and Ayush were talking about it, but like we have seen a massive decrease in our freshwater reserves, especially with global warming and our glaciers melting. We are going to be losing fresh water a lot more quicker, and we aren't going to be able to save up a lot of it. So in the future, I believe that desalination companies will be offer a compelling investment opportunity, just as climate change and population growth both have positioned it for us to use up our fresh water reserves so quickly. And it can be a more cost efficient option. You can look into a few big companies, one being Consolidated Water Company, which is a really big company in South American region, so like Texas, and then the island states are that's where they really are, and it's a good industry because it's really hard to get into right now. So you need a lot of capital to just develop these special machinery to desalinate the ocean water. So them already being a step ahead and having the technology and the capital already invested is a really big step. And I believe that just investing within a few of these companies and sprinkling a few dollars over them over the long term can return in good capital gains.
Yeah. Nice. And that fundamental analysis that you did will be posted on our site, or at least a preview of it. If you would like the full copy, feel free to join our Discord. It will be posted on there forever. So you guys can talk to Darv on there. It is our community, so you can talk to Darv or any of our other client members and really discuss what long-term gains you have to make from big desalination companies right now. So that's it, unless you have anything else to add. But yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
Perfect. Peace.